The other day I was reading through my TikTok comments and I saw some girl basically making the claim that you can't really discern whether or not a man is a man of God until later on. And that's bogus because yes, I absolutely can. Let me show you how. This is the number one thing I always look for and always pay attention to tell the difference between a boy who is claiming to be a Christian and a man of God. And honestly, this works the other way around. So if you're a man of God watching this video, it works the other way around too. It's not gender specific. Let's say this was the line of disobedience, or this was the line of respecting you, valuing you, honoring you. A man of God will stay as far away from this line as he possibly can. He will put boundaries into place. He will be disciplined, or at least trying to be disciplined in his spiritual life. He will do everything he can to surround himself with good community so that this line of rebellion stays as far away from him as possible. Now, a boy who's not a man of God, but just claims the title Christian, tries to get as close to this line as he possibly can without actually crossing it. I'm not just talking about purity here, y'all. I'm talking about in every area of life. I'm telling you, pay attention and you'll start to notice it. When children are growing up, they basically do as many crazy things as they can because they're trying to test the limits of their parents. And when it's a kid, it's not because the kid is necessarily rebellious or out of their mind, but it's because the child is trying to learn what's okay and what isn't. Maybe one day the child will jump on the couch and the mom will say, no, don't do that. And they'll learn, okay, jumping on the couch is not okay. What if I jump on the table instead? That's like how children work. But as you grow older, what's supposed to happen is that you learn and adapt to the natural consequences of things, and you should have the mental capacity and emotional maturity to accurately assess cause and effect. If I do this, this will happen. But a guy who refuses to grow up, is super immature, and especially is not after the heart of God, knows this but chooses to ignore it. And so when you're in a relationship with a guy, one of the biggest identifiers that he's not a man of God, he's not a guy that's after maturity, after wisdom, after discipline, is if he's always testing your limits in the way that a child tests the limits of the parents. How close to the line of disrespect is he trying to get before you decide that he's crossed it? How close to the line of unfaithfulness does this guy try to get before you decide that it's too far? A boy who does not value honor is always trying to get close to that line. And a man of God is already 10 miles in the other direction. I'm not lying. Ask the men in the comments. Ask the men in the comments if I'm lying. And listen, this isn't to say that men of God won't make mistakes. Of course they're gonna mess up. They're guys. No, I'm just kidding. But they're human beings. And like every other human being, people are still learning. We're growing. We're being sanctified. We know this, yada, yada, yada. But obviously there's a certain way that men of God respond to rebellion in comparison to how the opposite do. And there is a tangible difference when I'm standing in the presence of a man of God who loves the Lord and when I'm standing in the presence of a guy who is not after God's heart. And it's always because of this line. Men of God are in the other direction because they're trying to touch the line of holiness. Christian boys are going in this direction, trying to get really close to the line of disobedience. All right, I love you girlies. Don't let this message pass you by. And men of God, I love you. Appreciate you. The line of disobedience, we hate it!